The ASUS ROG Strix G16 2025 is hands down the most balanced gaming laptop you can get right now, but let me explain why. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm going to walk through everything that matters to you as a gamer, a creator, or anyone who just wants a machine that won't quit when the workload spikes. First off, the heart of this machine is the 14th generation Intel i7-14650HX paired with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060. That combo pushes you past the old 30-frame ceiling on most AAA titles, so you can actually run games like Cyberpunk 2077 or Hogwarts Legacy on high settings without the dreaded stutter. In my own tests, the laptop cranked out a smooth 70 FPS in shadow of the Tomb Raider at Ultra, which means you can stay competitive in fast-paced shooters without worrying about input lag. The GPU also supports DLSS, so you can trade a tiny bit of visual fidelity for a higher frame rate when you need that extra edge in a multiplayer match. The 16-inch WQXGA Nebula display is another strong point. With a 165 Hz refresh rate and a 3 milliseconds response time, it feels instantly responsive when you flick between weapons or scroll through a fast-moving UI. The extra vertical space compared to a standard 1080p screen gives you more room for HUD elements, which is a real boon for streamers who want to keep chat and alerts visible while still playing at full immersion. The brightness peaks around 400 nits, so even on a sunny balcony you won't be squinting to see the details. Cooling has always been a pain point in thin gaming laptops, but the ROG cooling system here uses a double-fan configuration with vapor chamber technology. When I pushed the laptop to its limits with a 30-minute marathon of Red Dead Redemption 2, the fans stayed relatively quiet, just a soft hum, while the CPU stayed under 90 degrees Celsius. That means you can keep a long gaming session going without the laptop turning into a mini-oven, and you won't have to pause for a cool-down break. The built-in webcam, now upgraded to 1080p with a privacy shutter, also survives the same cooling regime, so video calls stay crisp even when the laptop is working hard. Storage on this model is generous. A 2TB PCIe 4.0 SSD gives you lightning-fast load times and enough room for a sizable game library. I loaded up a mix of large titles, each with massive texture packs, and still got into the menus in under 5 seconds. The SSD also benefits creators who need quick access to raw footage. Exporting a 4K video directly to the drive took noticeably less time than on my older laptop. Connectivity is future-proof with Wi-Fi 7, which promises lower latency and higher throughput when you finally get a router that can take advantage of it. In practice, my online matches showed a stable ping under 20 milliseconds, so you won't be fighting lag spikes during a clutch moment. The laptop also offers a solid selection of ports, 2 Thunderbolt 4, an HDMI 2.1, and a USB-C power delivery, meaning you can hook up a 4K monitor, an external GPU enclosure, or a fast external SSD without needing a dongle hub. Now, let's talk about everyday practicalities. If you're a student juggling coursework and gaming, the 64GB of DDR5 RAM ensures you can keep dozens of browser tabs, a couple of research PDFs, and a game running side by side without the system grinding to a halt. For digital artists, the color accuracy on the Nebula panel is decent enough for sketching on the go, especially when you pair it with a stylus that supports pressure sensitivity. And because it ships with Windows 11 Pro, you get additional security and virtualization features that are useful for developers who need a reliable sandbox environment for testing software. There are a couple of things to keep in mind. On the positive side, the performance you get from the i7 and RTX 5060 feels future-ready for the next few years of gaming, and the display's high refresh rate makes every movement feel fluid. The cooling system does its job without becoming a noisy distraction, which adds to the overall comfort during long play sessions. On the downside, the chassis is a little heavier than some ultra-thin competitors, so if you travel daily with a backpack, you'll notice the extra pound. Also, while the Wi-Fi 7 standard is impressive, you'll need a compatible router to fully benefit, which might mean an extra investment if you haven't upgraded your home network yet. All in all, the ASUS ROG Strix G16 2025 strikes a sweet spot between raw power, display quality, and cooling efficiency, making it a solid choice whether you're grinding ranks, streaming, or handling heavy creative workloads. If any of those scenarios sound like your daily routine, give it a look. The link is below if you want to pick one up today.